Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. So let's get into the presentation. So there's quite a few Zega managed ETFs out there, so like Defiance, YieldMax, and Theta. And this is just a way to kind of rank them quickly to see which ones are good or not. So there's a few things that go into this. So there's something for everyone, I think. So there's like a section for price rank, one for average yield, one for standard deviation, one for liquidity, one for correlation, and one for potential drawdowns. So this right here, just this tier rank is just based off of like the highest average yield. So I know some people have questioned in the past, like, well, how come like TSLY is kind of like in the B tier? Well, unfortunately, this is kind of one of the highest paying ones. But again, this is why I've mentioned in the last slide that there's a few other ways that you might want to like rank them. And then one note for like the June USOY, even though it has paid out like a distribution, it's only 1 month. So expect USOY, GDXY, and SNOY, and I guess SNOY in future editions. So I'll just give you like another second just to kind of like maybe jot down or maybe like take a screenshot of like this ranking. But don't worry, I'm gonna also show kind of like the spreadsheet in a second. So give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pop open the spreadsheet, and I hope everyone can see this. So you'll notice like this is as of June 14th, so like this past Friday. There's really not that much discounts, just because like, well, I mean the market's is pretty much near like all-time highs. So and actually instead of like nice discounts, people are actually paying a premium. Sorry about any background noise. Like for example, like ULTY, people paying 13.71 when it's actually worth only $13.50, like kind of near the bottom over here. So just, again, just be careful of that. And then like for example, USOY, kind of in the middle for the Defiance, people paying $19.19 when it's only worth $19.09. So again, be careful with that. And again, like the discounts are like, maybe like a penny or two, but I guess it is what it is. And then what's interesting here is like SPYT. I remember when this was like, you could barely see it, but like this little guy over here under the AUM over here is starting to get bigger and bigger. So this is in a way a kind of like a good sign. People are kind of putting their money in like more stable-ish type of ETFs. And then if you look at the AUM for like the YieldMax funds, like you'll notice like NVDY finally flipped TSLY. And it looks like CONY might do it in another month or two, so it's really interesting. And YMAX is finally at like the kind of in the top 5 spot. So I guess this is kind of well, I don't know if this is a good or bad thing or not, but this is a sign of things to come maybe. So let's just get into the distributions to see. This should kind of show you like how things are looking for like the different ETFs out there. So I'm gonna kind of go through this like slowly. This way people can maybe like jot down some notes on like which ones they have or not. So for example, like right now I'm kind of like on between TSLY and SPYT on the screen, and then I'll slide over to like the modernity section later. So over here, like near kind of like the bottom, like I have like the average distributions, and kind of like in the green, or like I highlighted like the top 3 that are like the highest average distribution paid. And so that's kind of like the basis of like the tier rank. And then I'll also show like the lowest distributions paid. But then there's also other things too. So like for example, like the standard deviation, it kind of shows you kind of like how much it wiggles like month to month. And then just to create like a kind of like a consistency ratio, so like the higher the ratio, the more stable the distribution is. So that might be helpful for people that are maybe trying to create like a retirement portfolio, or they need like maybe like some payments that can help them out with their daily living expenses. So like the higher the consistency ratio, the better it is for some folks. So for example, just like CONY, it's probably one of the highest paying overall distributions. But like the consistency ratio, well, I mean, you can kind of see for yourself. Like just like month to month, like the first month it paid out was like $1.20, and then it went down to $1.07, and then it went as high as like $2.79, and now it's like back down to like $1.69. So even though like on average, it's pretty healthy distribution amount, but like a month to month, like like some people might be annoyed at like how much it wiggles, and then same thing for like MSTY and YBIT. I guess like over time, like time will tell like whether YBIT will kind of be like CONY and MSTY. I'm guessing there'll be like kind of like a high payer, but like on a month to month basis, so like it might go like all over the place. So hopefully everybody had a chance to kind of like jot down like what they wanted to see. And again, like for example, like SPYT, it's a kind of like a high pair, but again, like the consistency ratio is kind of low just because like it wiggles all over the place. But now let me scroll over a little bit from like MRNY, and this could get annoying in the future just because there's so many funds out there. And then I'll scroll over a little bit just because like THTA is gonna get cut off. Right now is getting cut off, and a little bit of USOY. So in the future, like it's gonna get bigger and bigger. So again, GDXY and SNOY, nothing yet, but so hopefully there'll be something in the future. And then you'll notice something very interesting. SPYT, all the way over here, has like the highest consistency ratio, but again, like it's only like 3 months. But if you look at it, like it's well, I mean, the whole name of the game, it's supposed. I mean, I guess it's doing its job, so that that's definitely a good thing. So at least like so far, is paying around like 32 cents and above. So hopefully it'll kind of like stay to like its intended like mandate. And hopefully people don't crowd too much into this guy. And then the same thing for like YMAX. It has one of the higher consistency ratios, and the same thing with, well, in a way, like ULTY, like the consistency ratio only is in regards to like the distribution and not the actual share price. So there are limitations to these like rankings because it really depends on what you want. Now let me just like kind of scroll over a little bit more, just so you can see like USOY and I know there are folks that like THTA. Well, I mean, it has like one of the lower distributions so far, but again, it's well, I guess it is what it is. I guess there are fans out there, so nothing wrong with that. And let's go over like in terms of like rank, in terms of like how close it is to either the 52-week high or the 52-week low. So for example, AMZY, it's heading over to like the closer to like its 52-week highs, so that's a good thing. But remember, like NVIDIA has been on a tear lately. Really, they recently had like the 10-for-1 split, and it's still going up. So well, I mean, I guess like the market likes what it likes. And then also some good news for like I guess like people that like THTA. So far, it's clinging to like near like the 52-week highs, or at least closer to the 52-week highs. Same thing for YMAG and SPYT, etc., etc. So if I scroll down a little bit, so you can kind of see like the other guys. Well, unfortunately, like ULTY is like kind of trading near. It's actually below its last 52-week low. So that's quite unfortunate, and the same thing for PP. So no fund is perfect, but it kind of depends on what you want. So, and then let's take a look at potential drawdowns. Now, I'm not saying this is what will happen. This is what could happen. It depends on like where you've bought. Again, in regards to like the 52-week high and low, like you want to see like kind of like the distance between like the annual like high and low points, just to see like imagine if like at the worst case scenario you bought at like the 52-week high, and then if you weren't paying attention, and then like next thing you know it could be hitting 52-week lows. So like obviously TSLY is like a extreme example. You could potentially at any given point, if you don't pay attention to like like the price you pay, you could have dropped all the way down to like 65% loss. Same thing for MSTY, but of course like Bitcoin is a notoriously volatile instrument, so correspondingly anything that's related to it like MSTY, you could potentially see like serious drawdowns. So again, I'm not saying this will happen, I'm just saying it could happen in a kind of like a worst case scenario. So just to give you an idea of what to look out for. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit so that people can kind of like pick up what they want. So like there's good things, even though on the tier list like they look low, but YMAX and SPYT, if you're more interested in like low potential drawdowns, like the fund of funds could be something that you can consider. And again, THTA has for some people that don't like seeing big moves in their accounts, the ones like down here could be something that you may want to consider. And let me go over to volumes and kind of get to see which are like the most actively traded. Surprisingly, TSLY is like the most has the most volume, although like the other guys like ULTY, YMAX, CONY, NVDY, they're not too bad either. So it's good to see like some of these guys hitting like the $1 million mark, 1 million shares traded volume. So, and then let me scroll down a little bit again, just so people can kind of see everything. So unfortunately, like for something like Trez, like it's not that actively traded, so that's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then finally, let me just show you like kind of like the correlations. I'm guessing, well, like because like in the past, when I had QQQY as like a main high yield holding, so I based off like everything else just to see whether I should add something to the portfolio if like QQQY is like the main holding. So for example, XOMO has a nice negative correlation to QQQY. So in case you want to diversify, the ones near the top of what you may want to consider as part of the portfolio. But of course, like these things can change. So please be careful in your purchases in your portfolio management. And then the ones near the bottom, well, like for example, if you already have QQQY, it might not make sense to add like SPYT or JPY just because they have such a high correlation to QQQY. But again, it depends on what you're trying to do. So with that, let's go back to the spreadsheet. So again, apologies for any background noise. So again, this is just my opinion. Of course, you may have like different goals and preferences. Because I'm closer towards like the more towards like retirement, so I don't care as much about capital appreciation or depreciation. Like my focus more on like highest distributions, and then because I'm not afraid to like sell at or to use like stop losses. Like there is a point where I don't want like a fund to kind of like go beyond, so I manage my portfolio that way. But of course, like you might have different goals and preferences. Like some people might want more like a price stability, and then like they might want to like sacrifice some distribution. So again, it's all up to you. If you like this type of content, please consider giving this a like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you can make some good money out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.